most canned albacore comes into a processing facility. The entire fish is cooked. They fillet it, they cut it into chunks, they put it into your can, and then your can is cooked. Our process is very different. There's a person with a knife on a cutting board cutting that fish, cutting it into fillets. So that whole steak is going into the can. And then one time is getting cooked. So all of the natural oils and omega-3 fatty acids and all of those, the high nutrient content is depleted a lot of times by cooking it twice, where our fish is only cooked once. It makes a big difference.
I've tried to eat everything that I consume in my family, stuff that we've, sourced regeneratively or harvested or raised ourselves. And it only makes sense to do the same thing with what you're eating from the water. So I would assume that what y'all are doing is a far cry from what the standard is for sure. But are there any others doing what you're doing, or is it pretty much a total outlier?
Yeah, so there are other people fishing the way we fish. So we fish everything. Each fish is caught one at a time. So there's no nets, nothing like that. So every single fish is caught with a pole and a line, or jig fishing, which jig fishing is running lines behind the boat, but still each fish is caught one at a time and they're hand lined, pulled in, the fish is taken off the hook, and then move on to the next fish. And so it is a lot different. There's a lot of different methods for fishing albacore, but there's so many benefits to doing it the way we do. From a sustainability aspect, first of all, we have no bycatch. We're not disrupting marine eco environments, with the dragging nets or anything like that. We are only catching what we intend to catch. And we're also able to kind of target fish the size that we want. So the fish that we're catching are in this 10 to 20 pound range. We don't keep anything smaller than 10 pounds. And so they are younger, mature albacore. And so that helps with a lot of the health benefits that you're actually, and nutrition value that you're getting from this fish. So it's kind of twofold. So the way we're doing it is better for the environment. It is considered the most eco-friendly way of fishing because there is no other disruption to the environment or to other species. And the nutrition benefits also are far and above the other ways, the other methods of fishing. To give you an example, another popular way that albacore are caught is on long lines. And that's a little bit of a confusing thing, I think, for consumers because they're looking for maybe pole caught. We're pole and line caught. And some tuna is advertised as line caught, which you would think is the same thing. With a line, the fish is caught. But this is, maybe 50 miles, 40 miles worth of a line in the water with 5,000 hooks on it coming off of it. And it kind of sits there for a period of time, and then the line is pulled up. Well, it's very non-discriminate. You might catch some albacore, you might catch some other fish, you might have turtles, sharks, other things that are also being caught on that line, but it's still considered line caught. So it's not using a net. So I think people sometimes get that confused. Even some of my own family members who I talk about this all the time, and we're surprised to hear that line caught and pole and line caught are not the same thing. So
I like the whole thing with eggs, like eggs marketed in the grocery stores. I mean, you've got your free range eggs, you've got your open, I don't even know all the different
right. Yeah. You see cage free.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's fantastic. They're not in cages. Well, that doesn't mean that they're pasture raised.
Right.
There's a lot of confusion with that.
What do y'all get a lot of pushback on, mercury in the fish? What's response to that? Because when people think of tuna, they automatically default to mercury if they're in the know about nutrition at all.
Right. Yeah. And so mercury, it's been pretty heavily tested. And so our fish, we are part of AFA, the American Albacore Fishing Association, which is a fantastic organization. And one of the things that they do is they test the fish monthly for mercury, for radiation, and also for histamines. And um, because of the smaller fish, and we're also catching all of our fish in like the cold North Pacific, off the North Pacific coast. And there's different stocks of albacore tuna. These specific tuna are in the colder water, which is lower mercury levels to begin with. And then because we're catching the fish smaller, what you have to worry about mostly with mercury is bigger fish.
Mm-hmm.
And albacore can grow to, 50 pounds. We're getting them at a younger or a smaller size, and they don't have that time to accumulate mercury. Um, the the level that the FDA sets is below 1 parts per million, and ours, the last report I looked at, ours tested at 0.11 parts per million in the fish. So the mercury level is very, very low, which actually is lower than some of the other tunas that are out there sold as low mercury tuna, like a skipjack or a yellowfin tuna. Sometimes those are considered lower mercury than albacore. But the albacore that are being talked about mostly are these larger albacore caught in other parts of the world,
Gotcha. Makes total
in maybe
sense.
warmer waters. There's a brand that says that, they're the lowest mercury out of any other brands out there. And I think their level of acceptable mercury is 0.38. And again, ours is testing about 0.11. So I don't worry about the mercury content for my kids, for my family. And I think it's really not, it should be a concern, but with this specific method of catching fish, the size of fish, and where they're being caught, it really mitigates all of those
And I would assume your
concerns.
family eats quite a bit of the tuna you catch, so y'all haven't turned into thermometers yet.
No, 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 we're doing good. My kids are super healthy, and yeah, and they love it. We eat a lot of fish. We also, um, you know, eat other animals and stuff. But like you said, we are pretty particular about where we source it from. And between JJ does some hunting and then buying from a local rancher.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, like from a business standpoint, the regenerative market has grown, especially in the last 3 years, it seems. And they're like the direct to consumer meat companies have kind of found a pathway going direct to consumer as opposed to going through the beef commodity systems that have always been in place. Is it kind of like the same thing for the fishing industry? Like, are y'all able to have a niche market for people that want to source food doing what y'all are doing? Or is it like just super cutthroat with all these big fishing companies that are have the larger volumes, obviously, and can drive down the margins?
Yeah, our margins are pretty small. But yeah, it is. We know that there are people out there looking for this. We are looking for this. This is what we look for in our food. So we know there's a market for it. I think one of the biggest challenges is educating people
Hmm.
on the differences, and getting through those kind of barriers. But we fish. That's what we do. I think that JJ's expertise in fishing has helped to kind of steer us in the right direction. Um, we, yeah, I think a lot of what drives down the price is a lot of fish is not caught in U.S. waters. So that's one
Hmm.
thing. A lot of it's caught overseas and in different, using different methods, right? So being able to harvest larger amounts. And then we are fully domestic supply chain. So our fish is caught here in the United States. We have it canned here in the United States, and then it's all shipped and taken care of here. Um, a majority of the fish, if not, I don't know the exact percentage, but I would bet to say 95, 97% of the fish that is sold is canned in other countries. So
Wow.
that can also lower the cost pretty drastically. So coming up against that and trying to figure out how we can, I mean, we know we also can't, it has to be affordable. It has to be able to make sense for people. And so that has kind of been, in starting this business, a little bit of the challenge of not compromising on any of our standards and not going to a less expensive cannery. The cannery we use is an artisanal cannery in Oregon, and it's going to be more expensive than in Thailand or some of these other places where the big companies are able to or are getting their fish processed.
Yeah, it's tough when you're doing it all that you can in house. I mean, you're like I said, packaging and shipping the orders yourself. But man, it's like so much more fulfilling when you're doing something that you know is making a difference and you can like see the fruits of your labor unfold. I mean, like same thing with the keto brick. Like we don't have very good margins either, but I'm proud of what we're putting out into the world. And like that means something. You know, I can go to sleep at night exhausted, but feel good about how I live my day that day. And
Totally.
I just love talking to other business owners that are creating something that they personally had a need for, like to feed your own family, and it just yeah, I think the cream always rises to the top, as they say, and the margins may never be there, but you'll have a demand from people that understand why you're doing what you're doing and appreciate it and are willing to pay for it, and hopefully that demographic of people is always there to get that quality.
Yeah. And, I think an advantage that we do have is that we're hitting a lot of marks that, from a nutrition standpoint, from um, it being really an easy kind of packable protein that you can take, and it's so versatile, you can use it in so many different ways. And then also the sustainability piece of it. I think it's pretty amazing where we're going as a country. I think a lot of people are looking for more solutions to sustainable, whether it's farming or fishing, and the traceability. People want to know where their food's coming from, at least a certain population, and trying to um, which, like you said about the eggs, you can be attempting to do all these things, attempting to buy the right things for your family to find out, oh, cage free doesn't mean pasture
Hmm.
raised. I've been spending an extra $3 on these eggs to get pretty much the same thing. Um, so it is a bit of the education. And I don't think that there's many people doing what we're doing. So it is kind of trying to go out there and spread the word.
Yeah, and you'll package it in like olive oil too, so you're not cutting corners there as well. I mean, I was amazed at how many because I haven't bought tuna in a long time because, like I said, I was burnt out on it. But I, out of curiosity, just was flipping over cans the other day, and that's like an oddity these days. Like most of them are packaged in soybean oil, and it's like, why?
Right. Yeah. And so we also, what some of the fish we're getting processed right now, we'll be doing a just albacore. So just the fish, no water added. There is a lot of soybean oil added to a lot of these fish, not in ours. We have nothing added to it. And then just the fish and a salt. And one thing that makes it us able to do that is most canned albacore comes into a processing facility. The entire fish is cooked,
Mm-hmm.
skin on, everything. It's cooked. It's taken out of whatever they cook it in. They fillet it, they cut it into chunks, they put it into your can, and then your can is cooked, right? To make it a canned fish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our process is very different. The fish is filleted before it's cooked. And so that fillet, it's hand cut. There's a person with a knife on a cutting board cutting that fish, cutting it into fillets. So that whole steak is going into the can. And then one time is getting cooked. So all of the natural oils and omega-3 fatty acids and all of those, the high nutrient content is depleted a lot of times by cooking it twice, where our fish is only cooked once. It makes a big difference. A lot of times, if you cook the fish first and then you're cooking it a second time, you need to add broth or
Mm-hmm.
these other things to make it palatable. our fish is just cooked once. So it is, it maintains that high nutrient density that it, as eating it fresh. And that's another reason. And we do use the olive oil as kind of our premium product. And I don't know if you've tried it just plain or what you've been doing with it, but we love to just open it up and have it on crackers just like
Yeah.
that, or just plain, or it is tender and has enough flavor and not dry to just put it on a salad or put it, add it to whatever you want to add protein to.
Yeah, well, it definitely tastes better. I mean, there's like a notable difference in taste from that and other cans of tuna. So you're doing something right for sure.